Take a seat, get comfortable, and maybe grab a drink because we need to have a real, unfiltered conversation about this person. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Don't overthink it. It's the person who popped into your head the second you saw the title of this video, the one who makes your stomach do that weird flip-flop thing, even if you're currently mad at them. We are diving deep today. This isn't just a surface level, do they like me reading? This reading is all about the unspoken, hidden feelings and the stuff they are literally losing sleep over but would rather walk on glass than admit to your face. This is the psychological tea, and honestly, it's juicier than I expected. Let's start with how they are actually perceiving you right now because their view of you is, well, it's intense. You want to know the truth? They are stuck. They try to do the whole I'm walking away, I'm moving on, I'm over it thing, but they are failing miserably. It's like they packed their bags, got in the car, drove 5 miles, and then realized they left their heart on your kitchen table. They can't actually leave the connection. Even if you haven't spoken in weeks, they are mentally looping back to you constantly. There's this frantic energy in their mind, messages they want to send, things they want to say. It's like a non-stop notification bell going off in their head, and it's all centered on you. But here's the kicker. They don't just see you as some casual situationship or a temporary distraction. They see you as the one. They see you as the person you actually marry, the person you bring home to the family, the person who sets the standard for everyone else. You represent a level of stability and foreverness that absolutely terrifies them because they know if they come back, they have to come correct. There's no playing around with you anymore, and they know it. Now, let's talk about what they admire about you because this is where it gets a little bittersweet. For a while, they might have watched you struggle. They might have seen you feeling out in the cold or waiting for them to make a move, but something changed. They've noticed that you've stopped waiting. You've stopped being the one caught in indecision. They are watching you move with this incredible fiery confidence now. You're making moves, you're looking better than ever, and you're speaking your truth with a clarity that is honestly a little bit intimidating to them. They admire the fact that you decided to choose yourself. It's like they were expecting you to stay in that place of wanting them, but instead you took all that energy and poured it into your own life. You're glowing, and they are watching from the sidelines thinking, wait, did I just lose the best thing that ever happened to me because I was too scared to pick a side? They see your mental sharpness, they see your passion, and they are realizing that you are a force of nature that doesn't actually need them to be happy. And nothing makes someone want you more than realizing you're doing perfectly fine without them. But here is where the gossip gets real. Your peace is literally confusing them. They are used to the back and forth, the little arguments, the chase. But lately, you've gone quiet, you aren't fighting for their attention, you aren't trying to convince them of your worth. You have pulled your energy back so far that you've created this mysterious, high-value aura that they can't figure out. They see you standing in this powerful queen and king energy all by yourself. You're nurturing, you're soft, but you're also bossed up. You're protecting your peace, you're protecting your money, and you're protecting your heart. To them, you look like a prize that has been moved to a higher shelf, and they are standing at the bottom looking up, wondering if they even have the currency to reach you anymore. They are intimidated because you aren't playing the game anymore. You've outgrown the board entirely. Does this feel like the energy you've been sensing from them? Because we are just getting started. When this person is alone. Because this is very different from how they act outwardly. When they're busy or around other people, they can distract themselves pretty easily. But when things slow down, when they finally have quiet time, your energy comes back into their thoughts. Not in a dramatic way, more like random moments. You cross their mind when they're doing normal things, listening to music, scrolling, driving, or just sitting with their own thoughts. And what's interesting is that these thoughts don't feel forced. They just happen naturally. There's a strong sense that they replay memories connected to you. Small conversations, specific moments, things you said, especially moments that felt emotionally safe or comfortable. And I'm seeing that they They didn't fully understand the emotional value of this connection while it was happening. It's almost like clarity came after distance. When, when you were present, they may have taken the connection for granted or avoided going too deep emotionally. But now, when you're not as accessible, they're able to see it differently. They think about how things felt with you, the emotional ease, the familiarity, the sense of being understood. And honestly, when they reflect on you, the energy isn't negative. It's actually quite soft. There's warmth there, a kind of quiet appreciation. They may not openly admit this to anyone, but part of them recognizes that you played an important role in their emotional life. You weren't just another connection. You shifted something in how they view relationships or emotional. At the same time, these thoughts also make them slightly uncomfortable. Because remembering you means confronting emotions they didn't fully deal with before. So instead of acting immediately, they stay in observation mode, thinking, reflecting, trying to understand their own feelings first. But the main thing here is this: you are not forgotten in their private world. You come up more often than you probably realize. Despite confusion or distance, there are real feelings here. This person feels emotionally drawn to you in a way that surprises even them. There's curiosity, attraction, and emotional warmth, but it's mixed with hesitation. Almost like part of them wants closeness, while another part immediately pulls back. It feels like they didn't expect to care this much. You activated something emotional in them that went beyond surface level interest. This wasn't just fun or temporary energy for them, even if they acted casually at times. Even if they acted casually at times. There's a sense that being around you made them feel hopeful or emotionally alive in a way they weren't fully prepared for. And that's important because when emotions start feeling real, this person tends to slow down or overthink instead of moving forward confidently. They associate you with emotional openness, and while that attracted them, it also exposed their own vulnerabilities. So their feelings became complicated. Part of them wanted emotional closeness and stability with you, but another part feared losing control, making mistakes, or becoming emotionally dependent. And instead of communicating that confusion, they internalized it. So if their behavior ever felt inconsistent, warm one moment, distant the next, it wasn't random. It came from an internal push and pull between desire and fear. There's also admiration here. They see emotional depth in you, someone caring, intuitive, emotionally intelligent. And sometimes that actually intimidated them because you seemed emotionally clearer than they felt inside themselves. You made them reflect on their own emotional maturity. And honestly, that kind of mirror can feel overwhelming for someone who isn't fully comfortable with vulnerability yet. So their feelings didn't disappear, they just became quieter, more private. They feel more than they show. And even now, there's an emotional softness toward you that hasn't completely faded. Now, let's talk about what they are not saying. Because honestly, this is where most of the truth sits. There are feelings here that this person actively keeps under control. Not because they don't exist, but because expressing them would require vulnerability they're not fully comfortable with yet. They hide how often they think about the connection after it ended or changed. On the outside, they may appear composed or focused on moving forward, but internally, they revisit conversations, moments, and decisions more than they would ever admit. There's a strong energy of, I should have handled things differently. Not necessarily dramatic regret, but realization that came late. They recognize now that emotions were deeper than they allowed themselves to acknowledge at the time. And instead of confronting that realization directly, they keep it contained. They also hide uncertainty. This person doesn't like feeling emotionally exposed or unsure, so they prefer appearing logical. Another thing they don't express openly is how much your opinion of them matters. Even if communication stopped or changed, they still care about how you see them. There's a quiet desire to be remembered positively, almost like they want emotional redemption without having to reopen difficult conversations. There may also be guilt here: guilt about distance, mixed signals, or emotional inconsistency. They know on some level that their hesitation affected the connection. But instead of addressing it directly, they process it privately. So, what looks like silence from the outside is actually internal processing. They are not emotionless, they are guarded. Now, let's look at where their energy is moving right now. Their intentions are cautious rather than decisive. This is not someone rushing forward impulsively. It feels more like observation mode. They are watching, thinking, evaluating whether reconnecting or moving closer would be emotionally safe. There's curiosity about you still. They wonder how you're doing, whether you've changed, whether the emotional door between you is completely closed or still slightly open. But instead of immediate action, they take small internal steps first. This person wants progress, but at a pace that feels controlled. They're trying to understand their own feelings before making any visible move. There's also a desire for a fresh start energy, not repeating the past exactly, but imagining how things could be different if approached more maturely. However, hesitation remains. They don't want rejection, they don't want conflict, and they especially don't want to feel emotionally vulnerable without certainty. So, right now, their intention is quiet alignment rather than bold action. They're gathering emotional clarity before deciding whether to step forward or remain where they are, which means movement is possible. But it depends on emotional readiness more than timing. If this person could speak completely honestly, without fear, pride, or consequences, the conversation would sound very different from what actually happened between you. There are words here that stayed stuck inside them. They would want you to know that the connection affected them more deeply than they showed at the time. Even if they acted casual, distant, or emotionally controlled, internally this bond left a lasting impression. They would admit that they didn't fully understand their feelings while everything was unfolding. At the time, they may have been reacting instead of reflecting, choosing comfort, avoidance, or logic over emotional honesty. And now, with distance, clarity is slowly catching up to them. There is an unspoken apology energy here. Not always a direct, I'm sorry, but a recognition that things could have been handled with more care, more openness, more courage. They would also want to tell you that you challenged them emotionally in ways they weren't prepared for. You made them confront parts of themselves they usually keep hidden: vulnerability, attachment, emotional depth. And instead of leaning into that growth, they hesitated. If they could speak freely, they would probably say something like, I didn't realize what this meant until it changed. There is still warmth when they think about you, not bitterness, reflection. They don't see you as a mistake. They see you as a turning point. And even if communication isn't happening now, emotionally, they still carry unfinished thoughts connected to you. External responsibilities or life direction may also play a role, but the deeper truth is internal readiness. This connection isn't blocked because it lacks emotion. It's blocked because emotions exist and they feel powerful enough to change things. So instead of rushing forward, both energies pause, reassess, and grow separately. The connection is in a learning phase rather than an ending phase. And the message for you watching this is important. You don't need to chase understanding anymore. What is meant to reach you will move toward you naturally. Your role now is growth, not waiting. If this message found you at the right moment, do comment so your energy anchors this reading. And if you enjoy deeper, honest tarot messages like this, subscribe. Because these readings are meant to reach the people who truly need them. Personal readings are available. Details are in the description.